I'm Clinton Walker, and this is NC Kikos. We are located in Lawndale, North Carolina, halfway in between the foothills of Asheville and Charlotte, North Carolina. And we are a breeder of registered purebred Kiko goats. And we've been in business for 10 years now. And it's a third generation farm. My papa was a farmer, my dad, now me, and we have a long history of livestock. Had cattle when I was a kid growing up, and I was heavily involved with 4-H and the FFA. I was the president of the FFA in high school, and had a lot of experience on the farm here, and then moved away for work to Charlotte for 20 years and came back here 15 years ago and was in the process of cleaning up the pond and didn't want it to grow back up, and decided to get some goats to keep it cleared off. And we went with the Kiko breed based on the research that I had done, and really it was amazing the fact that when I was little you couldn't give a goat away, but now there's a huge market for them. People use them for homesteading. Other breeders use them for milk and processes for butter. We don't. These are meat goats, and the market has grown. We've birthed and sold probably 300 of them in the last 10 years. The breeding process, the gestation period for the goats to be born is 5 months. And so usually put a billy in and leave him with the does the entire time, because you don't know exactly when they go into heat. There's a lot of science associated with that. But and then of course when they get in the last month, we take the billy out, because sometimes the billy can get aggressive with the babies. It's just instinctful, and we learned that, so we remove the billy before they're born. But usually they'll have one baby the first time a doe's ever kidded, and then it's often 2 twins after that. But there's been lots and lots of triplets, and one time we had 4, which is not very good, because it's hard for a mama to take care of that many, but it's only happened once. It's been 9 years ago when we cleared the pond, and we groom this side with the mowers, but the other side, the goats do a really good job of keeping it cleaned up. And so that's because they're able to walk around and eat the stuff as they feel. The goats are ruminants, which is like a cow. They eat hay, and they prefer leaves and vines over grass. They eat feed, but not a lot. We give them a little bit of feed to inject minerals into their diet. Just like us taking vitamins, we'll put minerals into their feed, and also it tames them to where they like you and they come to you, and they get really excited about that part of the day. Our address is Walker Road. It's named after my papa. He was the guy that him and his brother are the ones that built the road with a mule and a plow a long time ago. I never met him. He was dead before I was born. But of course, my father, he was in the military for 21 years, and he literally lived all over the world. But he was out and finished with that before I was born. And so he farmed and was retired from the military and married my mom. She was a school teacher for 30 years here in Cleveland County, and they're both deceased. But they are the ones that developed the farm. And so I came back here from working in Charlotte for 20 years, and that was how I decided that I wanted to get back into farming and come back to my roots. And we started with the goats because of the need to keep the pond clean, and it worked out just fine. It's been like 300 babies ago since that. We use a lot of techniques for health. We try to take a holistic approach as opposed to using chemicals constantly. For example, pasture rotation, which is not relevant now because it's wintertime and they have to have hay every day. But we also give them longleaf pine needles, which is something that they're everywhere, and we don't necessarily go cut a tree down, but we might groom the tree and bring the whole limb and put it in here, and they go nuts over it because the pine needles are really good for their stomachs. And we try to keep them healthy using natural processes if we can, the minerals, and it works out pretty good for them. We do give them shots of a immune booster. Like these guys will get one after they're about 4 or 5 months old called a CDT, which is a tetanus immune booster. And if they happen to get sick, we do have medicines that we keep on hand to help with that. But we keep a real close eye on them. We spend time with them every day to try to make sure that they're healthy. For the most part, they're very maintenance free. Try not to get the pens too crowded. If you have too many goats in one pen, it's not healthy for them. But in the wintertime too, they thrive because there's no parasites for them to eat. Even though they're very resistant to parasites, they're still eating them every day, even under the best of circumstances, except in the winter. And so they put on a fat coat of hair, and they love the cold.
If someone wanted to start farming or they are homesteading and want to get into goats, what advice would you give them?
Have a plan. You absolutely need to spend a lot of time planning and doing your research. The fencing, the area, you need to study whatever you're going to fence in. There's some plants and trees that the goats probably shouldn't be eating. You need to get rid of those. You need to have a clear understanding of the costs of getting to a place of profitability. I knew this from being in business before, that a lot of the startup costs are fixed. Fencing, you build a good fence, it should be there for 20, 30 years. And so that's a one-time cost that's tremendous, but you don't have to pay it again the next year. You might have some repairs, but the infrastructure, the buildings, your bowls, the feeders, everything associated with maintaining them, you have to have a plan. And we're very fortunate to have a lot of resources in Cleveland County. It's a historically rural farming county, and there's a lot of programs through USDA, Brian McMurray and Greg Trawick in the county extension offices. They are wonderful. All of them are wonderful. They support farmers, and you can do your planning with them.